Hello everybody, and welcome to one of my streams. Hope everybody's doing well. I know I haven't been streaming lately. I just been getting ready for moving next week. Just a couple of things, and also I haven't been feeling in the mood. Really been in the mood to stream, even though I may not stream ever again after July 1st. So you know, but I don't know. I just been in one of those moods. But whatever. So yeah, let's get back to I was a teenage eco-colonist or exocolonist, whatever you want to call it. And let's jump right in. All right, let's see. Hopefully the sounds and everything's all right. All right, let's see. Okay, my mood and all that is down. Let's relax on the wall. Okay, I read that before, so. Mm, keep, but that card is really bad. But no, it's fine. It's only first against a certain one. Okay. It's been 3 seasons of heavy food rationing, getting more and more strict as the year dragged on, and the fields continue to struggle. You've been wasting away. You always have. It's not just the lack of calories. It's just you just aren't enough vitamins and good stuff in the food you're eating. Oh no, that's not good. Your muscles ache all the time. Sometimes you feel strangely euphoric, filled with inexplainable energy, but often it feels like there are weights tied to your shoulder, pulling you down. You don't have the energy to do it anymore, even though the prospect of getting up to find food feels like too much effort. Better just to lie down and accept it. Despite being so tired you can't fall asleep, you spend entire days in a dazed fog. Last week, you were brushing your teeth when you noticed some of your teeth were wiggling. You brushed and watched all your teeth begin to fall out of your mouth, clinging into the sink like pebbles and washing down the drain. Horrified, you started screaming only to snap out of it and realize you've been staring at yourself in the mirror the whole time, lost in a hallucination. Your friends stop working and retreat to their quarters. You lie to each other on the hollow night and all saying you're okay, just taking it easy, waiting for the harvest. Well, the harvest came and went as meager as ever. Your mother still hasn't given up and never stops working as much as your dad begs her to. She must be sleeping in geoponics because you hardly see her in the family quarters anymore. For when you lie nest in bed in your cozy figure, it all seems like far too much effort to bother with. You try but end up collapsing off your bunk. You barely have the energy to climb back up in the bed. You don't feel pain or fear, just a strong urge to lie there and stare at the poster and a pink cat on the wall, which you do for hours. You're pretty sure that behind those yellow disc eyes, it's trying to tell you something about the nature of the universe, the cycle and space of time. Have you been here before, or is it the first time? Your mom comes to your bedside and tries to feed you some of the rations. She looks like hell, swollen-eyed and gout, but she refuses to stop working. She says she can't keep the rations down anymore. She upsets. Take it. You struggle to choke down your mom's rations. Every bit is easier than the last. You can't feel the fog lifting as you begin to regain your strength. After a week of bed rest and double rations, your head clears and you can walk again, but your mother still refuses to rest. Both of your parents feel responsible for this famine, but as head of geoponics, your mother takes it personally. She's been skipping meals, relying on water and pressed soy bar rations, just enough calories to keep her body moving, but not enough to stay healthy, yet she never lets up working herself to the bone. Barely even sleeping, Chrysalis, sallow-eyed gout. You and your dad try to slow her down, but she'll, but well, she is a stubborn woman. If not her, she says, then who? You and your dad are in the lounge, slowly sipping your vegetable broth, and there's a commotion at the doors. Someone's run in, gasping for breath, yelling for you and your father to come to geoponics. You run over, knowing deep in the pile of your stomach that something terrible has happened. When you see the face of the architect, your mom's people, you know that something is real. Your dad sees her body first. He lets out a cry like something you've never heard before. A deep, unimaginable pain dragging up for the darkest parts of fear lives. God damn it. Your dad falls to his knees beside the frail body of your mother. He pulls her into his arms and sobs, wretched and agonized. You don't even know what to think. Your mom always seems larger than her body, but seeing her now, there's nothing there, just a fragile shell. They tell you she didn't even cry out. She just went to her knees and laid down in the dirt, and that was it. She's gone. God damn it. Your mother's body is taken to the incinerator room, and the night the colony gathers to pay their respect. Yeah. Like Tammy's funeral, the incinerator room has been cleared and wreath of flowers placed over the mouth of the organics recycler. They're white Anstrania, your mother's favorite flower, carefully carried from Earth with the hopes of flourishing on Vertuma, just like you. You stand with your father and Annie Etiquette and the rest of the council is here as well, including Red. You're surprised to see tears rolling down his face. He's such a hard ass in the garrison. Cal is here with all the others. Archaeologist, or I can't pronounce it. The rest of the colony waits in the canteen to offer their condolence at their service. Governor Udik gives the eulogy. As a colony, we share our blessings, she begins solemnly. However, today in sad company, we gather to share the burden of our grief. Florissant was born on Earth, but she was more than many of us, exemplified the spirit of our endeavors to bring life to beyond the stars. She bore life, not only in her body, but bringing it forth from the grounds she faithfully attended. The debt we owe to her is the kind that can never be repaid, she continues. Uh, It is deep and unbearable grief that we must continue on without her, and in awe and respect to her sacrifice and death of whatever was never expected to her, but she did not expect of anyone else. It is or her strong shoulders that she carries us all still. It closes the door to the recycler, and the particle disintegrators begin to reclaim the molecules that once formed your mother. Your father squeezes your shoulder, making a small, choked up noise of pain. As a community, we must remember Florissant. As a community, we return her body to the soil that nourishes us in the way her sacrifice is recognized in the manifest body of the colony. The ceremony is adjourned to the canteen where a somber wake is held in your mother's memory. There is enough food to dull the emotions. There isn't enough food to dull the emotions in your empty stomach. It only reminds you of the unfinished work. Your father is the new head of geoponics. In a few hours, he receives your mother's remains so that he can be added to the colony's precious supply of brown soil from Earth. You touch the cool lid of the container, marveling that your mother could fit in such a small box. You don't have to be, okay? Your dad says quietly, his voice is thick in emotion. I know I'm not. I have to keep going where she left off, but if you can, you should take some time off. Yeah, I take off. The prospect of just going back to work like everything is normal is too much to handle. The sun dips below the horizon, the glow begins. You end up spending the whole month alternating between sleeping, scrolling the HoloNet, and staring into space. It's restful, at least. A few days after the funeral, surveyors return with the unexpected bounty from the Valley Virgo. It's enough to survive for another month until the new year. Maybe, if you keep rationing. The colony will continue to limp along, but without your money. Oh no, the roar awakes you. It would awake It would wake the dead. It shakes the walls, rumbling through the ship's hull, and makes your heart skip a beat. You're paralyzed by a sudden clench of fear in your gut. Through your porthole window, you hear metal screeching and people shouting. There's another roar, gutturing and rumbling like the sound of the mountain is collapsing. Something enormous is out there. You don't know what gives you the courage, but you run out in the field to face the horrible creature. Face to. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's not good. It has no face. In place of a face or even a head, its body just unzips, revealing a mess of wrinkling pink tentacles and blinking eyes. Pocket with jagged, asymmetrical teeth, it stands on four enormous, powerful legs, each as wide across the tree trunks. Clinging to the back of its thick, slug-like tail are clumps of lichen that glows faintly in the night. The creature's nearly twice the height of a greenhouse, and standing on top of a flattened one, the wreckage of lettuce and plants are around, flickering of light from plastering sun gloves light from underneath, and the stench of ozone in thick of the air. You see Esgon and her brother come darting in and around its leg with twin shocks of red hair. The faceless, the faceless creature lurches into another greenhouse, oblivious to the soldiers trying to herd it away. The monster left a trail of destruction from where it smashed right through the wall. Smaller creatures are pouring into the gap and heading towards. They're they're heading straight to command. You watch helplessly as a horde of animals storm command, sneaking through torn away panels and smashing through windows. It's too far away to hear the screams, but Governor Idic is inside. You have to do something. Jeez, I'll save them. You you run towards geoponics, picking up a handy of rocks and as you throw through the barren fields, when Common sees you, he gestures you to flee. Get out of here, Solane. So he says, "You're gonna get yourself killed." You grab for your rocks in defiance. You're sick of being told to hide like a child. You want to help. Okay, this is gonna be tough. Yeah, the combat's hard. Hmm. Yeah, this is gonna be a disaster. Yeah, if I get like the very bad ending in this game, I'm probably have to play the game again to get like a better one. But yeah, this is very difficult. What if just uh, what did I have like 20 or something? That I want. I think because I have everything one 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 one. Ugh. No, that's whatever. That's fine. You try your hardest, but even with the full force of the defense squad, you can barely keep it contained near the farms. You dart in around the battle, throwing rocks and making noise to keep the abomination and tension away from the rest of the colony. It, its tentacles whip around, slapping the ground and knocking into people, picking them up and throwing their helpless bodies like dolls, only to be crushed under a massive trunk-like feet. The fields are littered with bodies of the fallen. Sweat stings your eyes, but somehow you stay on your feet. Others are so lucky. Solane, watch out! Com cries out, and you Calm cries out, and you look up to just in time to dodge the wet slap of the tentacle, tripping over a body and sprawling to the dirt yourself. The faceless makes a horrible noise from deep inside its crawl, fleeking you with spittle as your guts liquefy from the near miss. You're close enough to feel the sick heat radiating of it. It doesn't have a face, but you realize with horror that it sees you. Zzz, the beam of a projectile arc over your head, and the faceless roars again and turns in its terrible attention to Calm. You scream and uselessly cover your head as it lumbers after you. As you scramble to your feet, you see Calm go fly through the air. He lands a few meters away from a sickeningly wet crunch. Henry cries in horror as she runs to Calm's side, but it's too late. His body is bent at an unnatural angle. His eyes open and his face relays a stupefied terror. He looks unreal like a wax mannequin. He's just gone like that. He's gone like that. Anyway lets out a primal scream of pain, and you can see the thought ignite in her mind, contorting her face with ugly fury. She stands, launched herself to the faceless again. You grab her, and she yells at you in a wordless rage before collapsing to her knees, throwing her body over, Come sobbing like a scared teenager. She is. You can only stand and watch. You hear a colossal cracking sound and look up to see the faceless stumble towards the stratospheric. With a roar that shakes your very molecules, it loses its balance for the last time and falls into the ship. Metal, metal screams as the ship buckles and gives way. Whole pieces of quartering wing shears up. You go home. Your home opens like a tin can, spilling its contents into the square. The shattered Lord Shooter collapses under the creature's weight. The abomination is slain, but as a wail of grief joins the whimper of the dying, you have to wonder, at what cost? The council calls an all-colony meeting to face the aftermath of the attack. The oppression glooms of the glow you gather near, engineering with all the other survivors. It's one of the few buildings that's still standing. The corpse of the faceless still sits in the cave-in wreckage of the stratosphere, spilling its flaccid pink tentacles from a horrible zipper-mouth maw. It's already beginning to stink. You can't forget what you saw. Your mind keeps replaying the terrible moment, the faceless roaring up and obscuring the sky. Amna and her brother looking so small before it. Governor Indic was killed by the smaller creatures that swarmed command during the attack. In her absence, Zeke addresses a Colin. The council acknowledged the bravery of the French squad, citing their heroes and finally taking down the faceless. Geoponics is gone, the greenhouse destroyed and fields trampled. After a year of suffering, starving, and only barely scraping by, you're now back to where you started, and it's even worse. Everything your mom sacrificed herself for, gone in one night. The entire front of half of the stratosphere has been destroyed. The living quarters, the canteen, the garrison, the lounge, even the creche. It's all gone. It's only by some stroke of luck people hiding in the creche weren't all killed. She solemnly reads the names of those who lost their lives, too many, including Governor Idic. You all stand in a moment's silence. You feel the weight of loss like a blow to your chest. A man in her family cry out if her brother's Com's name is called. Their quiet sobbing continued through the silence. With the living quarters destroyed, everyone moves into the engineering wing for shelter. You crowd into the classroom with other families. The adults try to make it seem like a sleepover, but you're also still shaken. Edmund cries about her brother and screams at everyone who tries to comfort her. Eventually, just ignore her, your grief. As painful it is to her, her sobbing at night. You feel like you've been awake for days. You'll never fully sleep again. You try, but you keep jerking awake, crying out in fear. Eventually, you fall asleep sitting up, held in your father's arms. You sleep in a fistful, but merciful, dreamless. Jeez. There she's examining a bit of the rubber turned over in his hand. I wonder if we're ever gonna find like alien tech, he says. Wouldn't that be cool? I know it's hard, Cal says, finding Nursley with a tassel on his shirt, but I just think, what would your mom do right now? She wouldn't complain, that's for sure. It's been hard to talk to your dad about everything, losing your mom, losing the calling right after it. It's too much to take, neither of you know what to say. Marge crosses her arms and sulks. What is the point of having all these quotas if you can't actually use them to, like, buy stuff we need? Like, hello, it's not like I can mail order some supplies through the wormhole. Tangent frowns. I don't understand, she says. Why now? Why does it keep getting worse? Engineers cram with families and what belongs to savage for destroy living quarters. You could spend time with the crowded temporary lodge in the classroom or help the adults fix, rebuild. The first month of quiet passes, you stay plodding one after another. You still have trouble sleeping in the classroom barracks, but there's nowhere else to go. Every day you wake with the others and try to make the best of it. Grief and anger comes in waves, not just for you, but for everyone. Some days are better than the others. You assigned to help rebuild the walls. The first part of the month spent just dragging away the wreckage, sorting it into salvage recycling. By the time that's done, crews dismembering parts of the stratospheric have delivered enough salvage that could begin work patching up the walls. A sense of urgency permits the crew after everything people need to feel safe. Dish is on the work crew with you, something he does begrudgingly. Walls didn't help the first time, he grumbles whenever anyone asks for your opinion. We should just tear them all down and live like animals do. If someone planted a bunch of buildings on my land, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed off too. Work hard. By the end of the month, you made noticeable progress. There are other priorities, not a lot of construction material, but when last year's mush wood harvest is done drying out, you'll be able to do more. Even if Dish is right that it didn't help the first time, it's better than nothing. Tangi and Chief Engineer Instis had been hard at work in the lab trying to find a cure for shimmer disease. You joined them in the research. You're the one who found a sample of the shimmer fungus and analyzed it. You're one of those. You're the one whose father suffers the most of it. You confirmed that the shimmer is an airborne fungal disease, that the thick, choking spores and pollen are the same fungal from the Valley of Vertigo, the one that colonized the host and turned their bodies into more spore-producing fungus. Finally, you have a long-due breakthrough. Sunlight. You try inoculating antibiotics and the fern cream, but what finally works is a high-intensity light treatment mimicking the full force of the sun during dust, coupled with an injection of increased potency. Of course, Tan exclaimed, the fungus colonized animal life during pollen, and some succumb to it, but the intense light of dust scorches the fungus from the survivors is a part of the natural cycle. The treatment works on samples, not as chest. Mm. You open a triple-locked research room and pass through an airlock. You don't have the envirosuit on, but that's the point. You need a strong dose of the fungus in your lungs. The small room is filled with the shimmering fungus. It grows on everything, the floor, the walls, on lumpy shapes that were some biomatter once. Now it's just fungus, violent and shiny. You breathe deeply, marveling at the feeling of soapy dangerous air filtering your body. Tang watches safely from behind the thick pixie glass. You can't see if she's jealous or impressed. Next, you slide the light therapy machine to bask in the nice warm light for a while. You even have a nap. Dr. Exlin takes your vitals and runs samples of your fluids through various machines. She excruciatingly thorough, but after a few days, she concludes that the treatment is a success. You still carry a high fungal load, but its effects have been notified by the light therapy. Remarkable, so says, going over your findings. Now that we have a front-line therapy, we can begin treating population to prevent the fungus from taking hold. She looks over at Tang. So Lang discovery will be of great help with other research. You expect Tang and might have be crossed that you get the credit, but she nods, looking pleased. You're just thankful that no one was killed, not your father or anyone else. The colony is safe from the shimmer. Oh, okay. Well, this one doesn't look as bad, I think. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Cool. The sun finally dawns again on your birthday. You wake early and climb to the top of your to watch the first watery ray break the horizon as the wormhole recedes across the sky. Dawn should represent hope after a long period of darkness, but this light only reveals the full extent of the damage to the colony. You've been having trouble sleeping like most people. It's hard to find rest, cramped into the classroom with all the other kids and families. Every time you close your eyes, you shake your head to clear the memories. You pull your blanket more tightly around your shoulders. Not your blanket, that's one's gone. You stare at the sun rises on the horizon, meager and sickly. Hey kiddo, you here. Then your dad comes and sits stuns beside you. I was looking for you. Nice view, huh? At least we got a rooftop patio on the out of the deal. He laughs a little at his own joke, then just sort of trails off with his sigh afterward. He puts his arm around your shoulders and you sit silently for a while, watching the sunrise pick all of the broken glass littering fields, glimmering like the fields of star. Neither of you really know what to say. It's clear your dad feels like he has to give up. He's to give you a pep talk, but there's an oppressive nature to the silence that makes it feel impossible for either of you to start. Eventually, he just sighs and his shoulder slumps. I know things seem pretty bad right now, he says, squinting into the sunrise. It sounds like he's taking all his effort not to cry. But it'll get better, it has to, right? You're not so sure. At least your mom wasn't here to see this, he mutters. That's a silver lining, I guess. You watch the sunrise together for a few more minutes. After a bit, your dad musters up a brave smile and pulls out a little box tied with a piece of gardening twine. Happy birthday, my little rutabaga. You know what it is before you open it. Your old medallion, the one your dad made, with the sun on it to represent Earth, which broken during the attack. In other cases, you didn't even notice, but your dad did, and made you a new one. It's just like you remembered, a similar design, with a wormhole this time to represent Britumania. You thank him, squint out at the swirling wormhole, still barely visible in the brightening. It's so massive and awe-inspiring this time of year, but it also seems to herald disaster. You're happy to watch it fade away into the daylight. Your dad slaps you on the back. Well, your birthday, huh? Here's hoping all get better from here. You both head back downstairs to the wreckage of the canteen, where they're put up temporary roofing with air, whatever tarps and scraps could be found. The colony nano prints, the few things still run, have been working day and night to replace the necessities of life, but larger construction projects are going to take some time. Aunt Annie has coaxed the kitchen nanoprints into making soy grow and pressed bars, life-sustaining but depressing. You and the other colonists eat your breakfast in stony silence as you mentally prepare for the day. Chief Administrator Sheikh has taken over as intern governor until the council can elect somebody new. Last week they held a mass funeral for everyone who died. There is talk of turning the destroyed front half into a memorial shrine after everything useful has been salvaged. There's so much to do. Hmm. Well, this sucks. I guess back to rebuilding. Rebuild. You're assigned to help out geoponics. The agriculturists have been hard at work trying to salvage what they can by ruined fields and destroy greenhouse. But there's still a lot of work to be done. Your dad has taken over the chief cultivator. Succeeding your mom was already difficult for him, but now there's this. He's never been the kind of guy to hide from hard work, but he's been pretty distant lately. Kyle's working on geoponics too, of course. He smiles when he sees you. Hey, Solane, there's lots of stuff to do. What do you want to work on? The Dome's miraculous prefab modular structures your parents brought from Earth are in shambles. Much of the glass and metal is beyond repair, destined for the recycler. Young help clear the air debris, and when that's done, you help derp tarps over what's still standing so the drifting spark snow doesn't pile up inside and affect the soil acidity. Anything that can survive outside a climate-controlled greenhouse needs to be harvested and sent to the kitchen so it can be preserved. Canning, jarring, dehydration, ancient technology we've learned about in schools but didn't think you'd be part of it to practice so soon. Everyone is worried that this will be the final nail in the coffin for your food supplies after famine last year. You try not to think about it too hard. Instead, focus on just doing what you need to help rebuilding the colony. All right, let's see. Two, two, three, three, three. Yay, we got it, chat. You're eating the mesh tents when you hear something rumble. Your bowl and corner start rumbling. People look around in alarm. It could be another attack. So soon? You begin to hear shouting from outside. Someone runs into the tent. There's something falling from the sky. They shout, it's on fire. You join the crowd, people leaving your temporary structure to gather the colony square. People are squinting up the milky, quiet sunlight, pointing and gesturing wildly. It's impossible to miss the thing hurling toward you from space. It's like a great big ball of fire coming straight to you. Is it? Is this it? Is this the end? After all you've been through, a meteor's gonna land in the middle of your already ruined colony and kill you all? Mars grabs your shoulder. It's another ship, she exclaims. Look, look, it's another ship from Earth. Excitement ripples through the crowd. Could it be? You stare up, believing at the rapidly approaching ship. The flames of the entry into the asthmatic, despite but a thick column of greasy black smoke trails begin behind it. Soon you can hear the whistle ripping through the atmosphere at terminal velocity. It's an enormous ship coming at you way too fast. The ship reverse thrusters fire, trying to slow it down so it doesn't smash into a billion pieces when it hits the planet. Everyone scatters to take place. You crouch behind some rocks, throw your arms over your head, and squeeze your eyes shut. You hear the massive spaceship touch down in geoponics, plowing through the fields and grinding over what was left of the greenhouse. You're thrown to the ground from the force and impact. The shrapnel rock passes over you. It grinds along like some roaring monster, cutting a great scar through the colony and kicking up an enormous cloud of dust. Finally, the ship comes to a creaking shutter halt. You and the other colonists carefully crawl out of your hiding place, coughing and rubbing your eyes. The new ship is half buried, obscured by dust, but you can tell it's from Earth. You squint to make the stenciled letters. Heliopause. A hatch opens, side a silhouette begins to emerge. Silhouettes with guns. Soldiers march out of the dust and quickly surround all of the remaining colonists. More soldiers for two parallel lines from the ship to the square, their guns in parade rest, and the lone figure stands down the center towards you. Greetings, fugitives of Earth, the man says, spreading his hands wide. It is made murmurs ripple through the crowd. The adults exchange significant looks. Chief Engineer Ensign tries to slip out of the crowd, but she's stopped by the line of the shoulders. The man smiles as he's a broad, easygoing smile that doesn't match the threatening aura of the soldiers, nor the smoking ruin the ship beyond him. I am Commander Loom, he says proudly. As a captain of the Heliopause, I'm here. I have come to render aid and bring you to justice. Listen with others. Sheik steps forward to the crowd. You're not the commander that Hirosuke, he says firmly. Governor Eric was expecting Commander Morikawa. Everyone is surprised. Eric has been in communications with the ship for how long? I am the captain of the Hirosuke, Loon repeats stubbornly, then adds, according to the chain of command, we sustained significant loss of the personnel when we went through the wormhole. You can't help but notice many of the soldiers exchange looks at this time. You wonder how many people had to die before Loom became commander. As the commanding officer, Loom, I declare that this colony is under our protection, and such you are now subject to the laws of Earth. Shag bows. Now, they stammer. There's no need for dramatics. We're a diminished colony, as you see. Governor Henrik died in the most recent attack, and Flores passed away a few months ago. Even technical Haitolius is gone. You see, we're quite leaderless. Wait, your mom? What would these Earth cops have wanted from your mom? You notice Chief Engineer is being held with her arms behind her back. She glowers at Loom with unbridled hatred. Lum turns to the assembled colonists. Well, why don't we fix that? He declares. Say hello to your new governor. You hear a few gasps of shock, outrage, and Loom raises his hand placently. Let's not pretend you don't need our help, he said. We and we could simply arrest you instead, but there's no need to demoralize your little colony further. Judging from the number of guns on display, you don't think you have a choice in this. No one knows how to react. A new governor from Earth, nearly 100 new colonists, most of them trained soldiers. What does this mean for our colony? The crowd dispersed slowly, and the council members follow Loom back in the hollow pause. Pause, presumably to talk about the future of the colony, you hope. You track down your friends. So what do we think about the new people? They don't live here. They don't know what it's like. They're just going to swoop in and act like they're better than us. She hugs her arms and around her. Do you see what they were doing, to instance? The entire colony, now twice as many, sets to work on salvaging the wreckage in Helopause, tearing it down and combining it with the Stratospherics remains engineering section. Spares are high, though these new colonists from the Helopause aren't like any other they ever met before, with their own uniform and weapons. They're more like invading forces than a rescue. You aren't sure what this means for the colony. Things are just getting worse and worse. As dust settles, you rebuild your colony around the new ship, the Helopause. The new arrival soldiers mainly are aloof at the first. Many see you as fugitives. Together you build new walls, living quarters, greenhouse, and a massive bunkered garrison. The Stratos engineering wing is the only remainder of your old colony. The Helopause brought enough rations for another 5 years, as well as a rich seed bank of working hydroponics. Finally, an end to the slow starvation you felt for years. They also have more guns and explosives than you've seen in your life. Even the ship has guns. A full stomach, a roof over your head, and the promise of safety convinced most Strato colonists to accept the Helios. In turn, a Helios decides that your criminal pose a little threat. A grudging peace is brokered between the two groups. You decide they aren't so different, really. There are even Helio children born among the stars like you. After a month of hard work, you and your dad move into your new quarters and you have your own bedroom for the first time in your life. You place a picture of your mother on the shelves beside your bed. You step up into your very own balcony to watch the new colony that grounds bustling with so many strangers and strange new ideas. You feel something rising in your chest and you haven't felt in a long time. Hope, excitement. What will the new day bring? You better get out there and find out. Rush outside to greet the day. Things are different. Dish looks haunted with dark circles that its edge deep under his eyes. Why bother, he mutters, pulling his sleeves over his hands fully. Why are we? They're just going to come again. It's pointless. Living is pointless. You know, Solane, you're right, Mars says as you approach. You blink at her, trying to figure out what she means. You're alright? You're in, you're in alright, what? As your stunned silence, Mars laughs, tosses her hair over her shoulder. You're alright, she repeats. You actually have good taste, unlike all these other no-heads ever since we landed. It's been help. It's been help with this. Mars doesn't waste research on that. Mars is boring. At least you understand the importance of sophistication. You shoot the breeze with Mars a bit longer. At some point, Dish goes out of the living quarters and has to pass by you both, clearly trying not to draw your attention. Oh, where is he going now? Mars mutters to you, then raises her voice so Dish can hear. You try not to get eaten. Try not to get eaten by aliens. She calls out Dish. If you die out there, you can't. They can't use your body for fertilizer. Don't be a waste. Shut up, Dish. Shut up, Mars. Dish is cool. You say it loud enough for Dish to hear. He looks at you with wide eyes before scowling toward his wall. Huh? Mars says with a little smile. No accounting for taste. She seems to respect that you challenge her. She watches Dish disappear from sight, then shrugs. Maybe you can get through to him. I've tried, but he doesn't care about contributing to the colony or being popular or even earning kudos or anything else important. Yeah, I'll just leave. The colony is full of new people. Everywhere you look, you see a stranger. It's disorienting after growing up in a closed spaceship. You never expect to meet any other humans that weren't made here on Vertumuma. Hey, new person. You bump straight into these new people while jogging through the colony. Oof! He laughs and holds you steady, brushing the measuring dust off you and giving you a wide, fanged smile. Hey, it's one of the kids from the Hollow Paws. You think his name is Rex. You stick out your hand and shake. Oh my god, sorry about that. The mic is just. Shake, and he laughs. You notice he's wiggling his dog ears. They can't really move independently. Pleased to meet you, he says. I'm Rex, and I love to shake your paw. I know a ton of tricks, he winks. Huh, okay. That's interesting. Rex puts his hands against his cheek, looking cute and lost. Hey, since I'm new here, do you think you could help me find the construction yard? I think I might apply for a job there. I'll take you there. You all come over to command. Everything moved around since the heliopause landed, but the construction yard is still in command, where it always was. As the entrance, you meet Mars, finally filing her nails and looking like she's waiting for somebody. Why, hello, cutie, she says to Rex. Where did you come from? He looks her up and down and grins. I'm just an angel who fell from the sky, darling. You try not to gag at the two of them flirt. You give a loud hum and point Rex towards the construction yard. He looks back at Mars over the shoulder and winks as he leaves. Huh, okay. The new boy from Halosphere is a couple years older than you. He's very handsome and and the missing arm gives him a heroic battle-scarred vibe. He stands tall and ready for action, even though it's a normal boring day. The other recruits milling around the garrison gives him a wide, respectful berth. He sees you staring and gives you a curt nod. My name is Vase, Lieutenant Olevases, he says, considering you with a glint of challenge in his eyes. And you are? I'm a hard worker. Expression is that right? He says, with the air of the boy who's hard to impress. Nice to meet you, Solane. I hear it's been a rough couple of years for the colony. Luckily, things are. Hello, Paz came along just in time, he continues. Don't worry, we have some sort of the best soldiers, the very best. We can keep the colony safe. Are you one of the best soldiers? We train as a team, but Face says, then clears his throat. Yes, I am. I've won more than my share of judo matches and virtual referee tournaments. Even competing against adults, he says. Being plant side is totally different. You tell Base the firing of virtual is nothing compared to running for your life through the jungle with a wild Unosaur hunts you down. A Unosaur? Base says, leaning forward a little. His eyebrows raised. Did you actually say something to interest him? That sounds like a fun sport. I'd like to try it sometime. What's here? Oh, the garrison. What else is here? Actually, give me a second. All right, I'm back. I just had to deal with the laundry. Seems like every time I stream, I have to do laundry, so very strange, but whatever. All right, and this table's not very sturdy anymore. Okay, let's talk to all the new people. You've seen Nami around since Hello Paws landed. They're around your age and barely a meter and a half tall, only coming up to your shoulder. You've never seen anyone dressed as strangely as they do. Hi, their voice is high pitched and quick. I'm not sure for nomination. They do a little twirl and bow. You introduce yourself. Interesting. What do you do for fun? Well, Nami begins. Kind of a bit of everything. I like designing outfits, reading manga, learning about dinosaurs, cooks, fauna, and robots and aliens, and watching anime, playing Laser Fable, of course. Mostly lately, I play Laser Fable. It's so fun to play outside of the great big endless outdoors. Nami dances a circle, waving their arms and gesturing at your surrounding. Challenge them to a game of Laser Fable. You're on. Nami helps you install and Halapama and explain the rules. Laser Fable is an augmented reality game where you bounce hologram lasers off real objects nearby. It's speed-based, so you're running around and bumping into each other. And there's an extended house rules about when it's legal to block each other's lasers. All right, let's see how this ends up. It's one of these challenges. Oh boy. 4, 5, 6. Hmm. 2, 2, 2, 3. Okay, I just need 15. Do not mess up. Um, 1, 3, 5, 5, 6. Yeah, super goal. Awesome. We did check. Super goal. Right on, brother. Nam Nami gives you a high five with a couple of quick flicks on their gauntlet, gives you a kudos of winning. They explain this how they always play Laser Fable with the kids in Heliosphere. Except they mostly don't want to play anymore. They say they're too old for it. They just want to be soldiers now. Except Rex, he's still cool. I need to probably get my combat up. Combat. Yeah. Do they still do the excavation? I mean the expedition thingy? Let's see. Still need to check out everything out. What's here? Oh, this is a school thingy. The classrooms. The living quarters. What's up here? Command. Let's see. Dad. Even though it hurts, you find yourself wandering over to geoponics. It feels not good to be here in a place your mom loved and ultimately gave her life to, but not good enough either. It feels like you all have a bruise, and you can't stop yourself from pushing on it because the reminds you the injury is real. Like your mom dying is a huge visible wound, and poking it forces you to feel something instead of just being numb. Your dad is taking time off. Your parents worked double and triple shifts during the last growing season, and now that is over. It just feels so cruel. When people work hard, they should be able to look back on what they did and feel proud. Instead, there's just this huge gap of where your mom should be. You find your dad sitting in your mom's personal garden, and it's miraculously starting to grow again despite being trampled flat during the last attack and neglected during the famine before that. Still, various Braidemont flowers are starting to sprout as well, hardier earth fonts like dandelions. Your dad looks up and musters a smile. He pats the bench. He pats the bench beside you. Sit quietly. Your dad is good at sitting in silence. He holds your hand and you sit together watching the bugs fill around the garden. He starts to hum quietly. You recognize the song, an old favorite of yours, and they used to play after dinner when they would sit and talk for hours about the future they envisioned in Vertimina. You remember sitting at their feet and playing with their blocks, letting their weird adult words wash over you. You have so many plans. You think about your mom and how much you have sacrificed for the future she'll never see. Your dad puts an arm around your shoulder and you sit like that for a long, long while. Hello, my little tomato. Your dad's voice rings out across the field. How unhardy you don't have it in yourself to be embarrassed during the pollen. Now that the memory of struggling to breathe is so fresh in your mind. Are you coming to check on your old man? He teases you. He takes a deep breath, holds it, and lets it all out. I'm doing great. No congestion, no sneezing, and I definitely don't want to take hiccups out of the wall. Your dad pulls you into a big hug, ruffling your hair. He sma- he smells like sunshine and dirt and sweat, and never been happier to breathe it all in. He's alive. I'm proud of you, he says quietly. I can pull off a miracle, kiddo. Hmm. Egg. Log. All right. All events have respawned. All right, let's see. Let me go to the this again, cause maybe we'll find something good. Hey, hello. Chief's already to stops you and dish near the depot. Feel that? She asks. You can feel kind of ominous, distant thumping pulsing regularly through the ground. If you can still stand, you can feel it vibrate up your own body too, like a massive global pulse. Utopia says, checking out a readout of the hollow palm. I reckon it's naturally occurring, she concludes, but it's giving me the willies at the same time. You two better check it out. Mind your stick together and take readings on the way, in case it's dangerous. You and Dish look at each other excited. You follow the thumping, now an audible noise, growing louder west until you roughly triangulate its location. You know you're getting close, but it sounds like it's coming from all around you, and your instruments aren't precise enough help. Follow the sound. Challenge. 65. Great. Let's hope that works. Four, four, five, five. Yeah, that's not gonna be enough, is it? Let's see what happens, I guess. Oh, snap! We did it, chat. Right on the money. You find a machine, an ancient broken down machine, like a small pyramid shaped building made from some kind of dark stone or bone that looks almost like it grew that way. Except it isn't broken, it's just so very old and overgrown, it looks like a pile of rubbish and roots than a building or engine or whatever it was. Still, a thumping noise comes from it. The vibrations are strong here, making your gut feel weird. Oh, I don't have the engineer. That sucks. You don't notice it at first, but there's a curious path on the ground moving away from the machine. A line half a meter wide where the dirt is a little more worn and bare. It heads off in a straight line into the west, or coming from the west. I can't marvel at it. You run your hand over its pitted, vibrating. How could something so unbelievable old still work? It's definitely not natural. You can even see something like writing carved deep in the not so quite rock. Dish starts making uns 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 noises under his breath to the best of the thumper. It's pretty sick beat. And eventually you head back to share your findings with Utopia, totally an alien civilization distanced. Utopia scratches her head. I suppose maybe, she says. You said it looked ancient, right? Perhaps there could have been another civ here long ago. We have found other signs, but nothing active like this. Ooh, okay. That's a cool new thing. It seems to be pointing west or receiving something. She snaps her finger. There's something right ugly ridge lines out there have kept us from checking that direction, but we got gliders and motivation, and that's half the battle. She makes a note in her holopen. I'm open to the western Wrestle Ridge for surveyors, she says, then grins. Whew, says the 3 times fast. Dish is right. Dish nods solemnly. Hey, it's one of these. Curious Riki blocks her path. It's acting strange. It keeps gearing up trees and hanging upside down to get a different angle to look at you. Oh, oh, these are the same events, just the one in the beginning is different. Then I should just go back then. Huh? I didn't put that one there. Oh, it's locked. Okay, whatever. Whatever. I hate these locked ones. They're just... Ugh. Hmm. Oh, come on. Alright, I'll go with the 10. Okay, yeah, it's the same one from last time. Let's just go back and see the new place. Maybe we'll find something cool. Hey, what's up? You leave the front gates and see Dish talking to one of the senior surveyors. He listens intently to their instructions, and the surveyor hands him a scale of instrument and clamp him on the shoulders before walking away. Dish turns to you. Hey, Solane, he says. He hikes the scale of his shoulder and gives you a shy smile. It's still kind of weird to be allowed to be outside the walls. Remember we used to sneak out? Jay's eyes crinkle at the corner. It's so easy to avoid Chief Surveyor Tonin, he says, wistfully. He ducks his head. Too bad he's dead. He was really nice to me. What's the weirdest thing you've seen? Dish looks up at the sky with a thoughtful look. There's this big rock on the western ridge that's almost totally flat on top. When I get near it, it makes me feel happy. He smiles. It's so strange and really hard to leave the first time I went there. I lay on top for a long time and almost missed the transportation spot. I know it's my job, but I haven't told anyone about it yet, he says. I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like it wants to be the keep secret. Let me flirt with you. An isolated place that makes you feel good? Yeah. Dish blinks at you, like the thought truly hasn't crossed his mind. He frowns. I guess, he says, as the words taste bad in his mouth. I do want to explore the thing, but honestly, I don't know what to do to get a good ending, and not a terrible ending where we all end up dying. Oh, this is okay, what's up? The only way to the wrestling ridgeway is by glider, part vehicle, part kite, and all adrenaline. You land on the rock broken up spine of the nearest ridge, and nearly fall over when you look down the plummeting slope into the basin below. You are a long way up. Dish and Utopia glide beside you. Phew, Utopia exclaims. You hand the glide like a champ, Dish. You too, Selene. She peers down over the slope. A lot more exciting than the swamp, right? I want you two to stick together over here. It's dangerous in those ancient Carmen Domain ruins. Covering Domain ruins? You look around. The landscape is like nothing you've ever seen before. Dish cracked soil gives way to steep cliff, and with little vegetation here is brittle and sharp. You can feel the dry air wicket away the moisture in your lips. Wait, what the heck is that? Glowing thing on the ground. You point at it. Utopia gives it a nudge with her foot. Beats me, she says. You unearth the object. It's pulsing with light and warm to the touch. Hold up, Utopia says. Don't just go picking things up, Solane. Could be radioactive, you know. Utopia waves her holopin crystal over it, then checks her interface. Only a little, she concluded. Whatever it is, it looks old, like thousands of years old. We've been digging up glowing gadgets all over this region, but got no clue what they're for. You hang on to that, maybe you'll figure it out. What is that? Some crystal stuff way down below. Oh, those Utopias are just pointing to a crystal formation densely packed into the ravine. It looks like a sparkling river, more outcropping of crystal decorated to the slopes. They're all over the place. Be careful with them. Not sure if they're animal, vegetable, or mineral. She points off into the desert. There's a big island of them over there, like a glacier. Covers the whole damn place. Might be related to the Convergent Domain, but we ain't sure yet. Stone structures in this distance. Why there are buildings here, so the traces of anywhere. Maybe 10, 20,000 years old? We sure didn't put them there. Just lights up on the prospect of alien technology. We've checked them out, but not thoroughly. Maybe just trying to get a feel for who lived there and why they ain't here no more. Based on some glyphs, we started calling them Convergent Domain. Whoever they were, they built things to last. Utopia admires. They ain't just arrowheads and cave paintings. They're real architecture machines even. I wish I had more to tell you, Utopia says. Most everything we found just poses new questions. The structures read more organic than anything. So does the mean their genetics were super advanced? As for this place, we think it's some kind of solar network for them, she says, squinting on two suns. Looking at it from above, you can see the big vines traveling up and down the ridges like power lines, and then hardly any planet life elsewhere, like they soaked up the energy and it made it a desert. But what do you use the energy for? She says. And if there was a civilization so big and advanced on Bergman, why can't we find some traces of it? Where are the cities? What were they them thumpers for? And what happened to them all? She's right, there's a lot of questions. Maybe you can help find some answers. So anyways, those ruins are the main thing we need you to survey while we're up here. But keep an eye out for anything else. Utopia collapsed dust off her hands. Well, my job here is done. You're all set, kid. Try not to fall off the cliff. Just jumps back on the glider too. As usual, you're going to scout ahead and catch up with you later. There is a strange heat haze shimmering across the path ahead. Oddly, it doesn't clear up as you get closer. The mirage effect is very strong. The refracting air makes it look like it's a pool of water in the ground and plants waving around. But something is just off about the illusion. You can't put your finger on it. Investigate. Come on, let's do this chat. Oh my goodness, 72? Uh, yeah, I ain't gonna. Oh, it sucks. Hmm. Huh. No. Uh. Hmm. No, 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 wait, no, 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 wait. Yeah, there we go. Yay, win. The faster you move, the faster Mirage disperses. You approach cautiously. As you do, you realize that what is wrong about the Mirage. It's impossible. The plants on the other side of the haze are different. Not just wibbly wobbly from the layers of the air, but bigger, older, and different time of day. Evening, not morning. You see him. It's you. Through the heat haze, you see yourself in the distance walking towards you. You move to the edge of the mirage and peek around it, but he isn't there. You can see him through the heat haze. It's like some doorway or a mirror. Just watch. You just stare at the figure, the person who looks and moves exactly like you. Then you both slowly, carefully approach the mirage and like a mirror image, you both raise one arm. Your right, his left. You touch them together. Then the other you say something, but you can't hear. You can only see the lips moving. Is it important? A message from the other you? You're desperate to know, but the mirage fades. Oh, that's weird. What's this? Oh, this is a plant. Hmm. A beautiful little lotus lands on your arm. It calmly washes its face with your forearms and vibrates its wings like it's cooling off. Ah, poor little guy is all alone. Befriend it. Can we be friends? I hope. Let's hope for the best. Hmm. Ah, this is not gonna be good. Hmm. Mm, okay, so wait. You know what? There you go. We're doing that. You look at You look it up on your hollow palm. It's a mask wing, named because when it's riding, it opens its wings all the way and flips them forward, make it look like a grimacing metaphor scary. But even scarier is how much they can eat. They usually eat leafy plant matter, but they're not above eating fabric, wood, hair, or even skin. They swarm in dust in its hot places like ridges. You see something out of the corner of your eye and look up from your new friend. Oh, hmm. In the distance, you see a haze above the ground. It's the locust, each one bigger than your fist. These insectoids can eat their weight in an hour. There are millions of them out there, and they'll be here soon. Your buddy takes off to join its friends, and you gotta go. You make it your glide in time, thankfully. You come back to this place later this week. What foliage has been now stripped bare. Only thing still standing are the crystals glinting in the sunlight. The sun goes behind a cloud. You feel like a light splattering on the rain. It sizzles into the dry, hot ground around you, prov- proving a little relief from the heat of the day. Then you realize you don't see a single cloud in the sky ahead of you, and it almost never rains on the western wrestling ridge, and the plants here rely on nighttime dew of the moisture. Look up. A herd of flat cows are wobbling overhead like a hot air balloon, drifting west in the prevailing winds. You've seen these creatures being milked in the colony farms during the migration season. Their helium sacs swell to make them lighter in the air so they can safely travel great distance. You also heard of what they could as use for ballast. That wasn't rain at all. It's flow called piss. You try to dodge another shower, but it splatters down on you, soaking your head and shoulder. Oh, gross. At least the heat makes it evaporate quickly. That's funny. You're treated to a spectacular sight, an enormous long caterpillar dragging kind of creature way off the distance. Its thousands of legs and kilometer of shimmering body snacking in and out of the haze at the bottom of the chasm. You just watch it. It's terrifying. It's like a train. Take some readings. It's so far away, but you recorded the movement coordinates to take a video for Utopia. Crystals. Every so often, you have absolutely massive creatures here, like a giant snake dragon, thousands of legs, and shimmering scales. They're so larger than the one crosses your path. You're just in a wait. What exact? which is exactly what you're doing. The gargantuan dragon has been slowly lumbering over this ridge for at least half an hour, its body disappearing into the heat haze of chasm on both sides. If you slowly indulge across the cracked soil, making shushy noises and scattering the boulder. The creature is moving more than slowly enough for you to climb up, using its large, soft spikes as hold bars. It's going to take hours to get anywhere interesting, but from up its back you can see further. Also, there are other creatures up here. You climbed up right next to a clustering dwarf moth, heads tucked under the wings like they're sleeping. In the other direction, there's even a bush bub, or rather, it looks like a pile of rocks and some twigs. Wait and see where it goes. Center sooner the Goliath makes its way into the chasm, you feel the air grow thicker and less hospitable until the sheer density of the heat and the his general concern of your safety. You climb up the creature back segment by segment until you back on the ridge, then drop down on the other side. Ooh, scary. You're too worn. Okay, let's go. Alright. Take I'm gonna let's see, take the month off, and then I probably myself will take a break from streaming. Dun, 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 dun. Relax on the walls. Yeah, relaxing. Yeah, just all right. Let me save. Just use the same one. Yeah, it's alright. Okay, cool. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching me. I'll be back tomorrow or later. I don't know. I probably tomorrow or later. I don't know. All right, everybody. Have a good one. All right. Take it easy. Bye.